leaving on your when are you going on the boat?
Work tomorrow,
We started with
and
11.
after work, driving to Charleston, South Carolina.
All right, so tomorrow after work. Dang. So I'll be in full work mode while you're. Man, must be nice being in the future.
Pretty much.
Right. Oh, baby, live now.
Yeah.
Mechs or monster.
Dude, I can't believe they put all this stuff happening next week after like having a couple weeks of like.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. They really slapped a bunch of stuff in there.
I would say it's probably a little bit too much stuff.
Yeah. It'll help get
So,
Ryan Master Raid ready. That's about it.
I don't know if you guys have read through the questions yet, but the question about how do you feel about the Witch Queen expansion, I might be a little more negative than everybody else, I'm afraid.
I don't think you've put the questions in yet.
Oh. Well, there's going to be one about that.
Okay. I'll be prepared. Very thoroughly prepared.
Plus 20 on the artifact today.
20 is
What,
almost like an even
what's your
200, isn't
season
it?
pass? It's like right around 200.
Yep.
Yeah, they're good at that. I think they make it like 15 at 100-ish and then 20 at 200. And 25 will be, I want to say it was like just over 250 or like 247. I don't know why I want to say that. I don't know. Because we're looking at plus 21, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be around 230 something. I think
230 something, yeah.
is plus 21.
Yeah, we'll definitely hit that before Master Raid.
Yeah, two of us will.
Yeah.
I don't have it this season, boys.
It's fine, dude. You don't have to have it every season, my man.
Just save up the seasonal challenges and pop them when you're with
Yeah.
someone.
I always try to save like a 3+ one to pop at the beginning of every week. Just load it on somebody and go boop, and that's a whole like 6 or 7 levels on its own.
Right?
Yeah.
The trick would be to like edge up to 5 and then pop it at like 4 and 99%, right?
Yeah. I think
Not that I would ever be able to do that, but
I don't think
Yeah,
that matters because you just get a set amount of additional XP
Yeah.
starting the week. It don't matter if it's a +3 or if it's 5 +1s.
Yeah. It's just the +3 does it in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking of the what's the first 5-level bonus or whatever?
Yeah.
But
Yes,
rest-
you just get that certain amount of extra XP.
Well rested.
it don't matter like if you do it with 1 bounty or you do it with 20. Whatever gets you to that.
Gotcha. I see
extra
what
bit.
you're saying.
Yeah, once you hit the 5th level, it stops.
What's the lore about this week, Chad?
This week we are going into it's gonna be a lot of Vow the Disciple stuff, man. Like seasonal stuff isn't gonna be for another week or so. It's Vow the Disciple gear. I'm going into the Titan and the Hunter armor sets. The first one's gonna be about the worms and their interaction with Rolk. And then the second set is gonna be about a mission that the Witness gave to Rolk on a specific planet.
Dude, why don't we
Gives
get
them a
more
big
spoils
lesson.
through that raid? Like
I know, right?
What I
Like it
was
feels like
thinking.
it should be like 25, 30 per raid, right? But it's like 15, right?
it's 10.
67.
You get 10.
You get 10,
You get 10.
and that's because the secret chest drops some, right?
Yeah, that's the only 2.
That's the only you don't get any spoils from the regular chest.
No.
That I feel like that's a bug of some kind. That can't
Not
be,
unless you're
that's weird.
rerunning.
Yeah, but why are you rerunning?
Yeah, you need the fresh
I mean,
clears.
I mean, now I do. I mean, the first week or two I rerun once or twice, I think.
Yeah.
Like to help people get boss clears, because I cheat it and then help people from that chest.
Okay. I mean, I'd get that once I get like
I
a
mean-
full armor set on my Titan or my Hunter and my Warlock, then I wouldn't need to touch it again with them.
He's doing more than 3
Yep.
clears a week.
Literally just boss clears. I did like 4 the first week or something.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Like I had already got him, and then like, because we did it with like an LFG dude, and then we picked up like Shifty or somebody, I want to say. So
Yeah.
like he did the boss encounter. I can't remember how it worked out. You guys ready to let the dogs out?
Yeah, dog.
Yep.
By the way, Jared, I saved a boss checkpoint if we want to just hit Rolk twice really fast this weekend sometime.
Okay. Don't wait on me. I mean, if y'all get people to go,
Yeah,
just do
yeah,
it. But
yeah.
All right. Clicking start in 3, 2, 1. We are live for episode 54 of the Conqueror's Corner podcast. Today is Thursday, March the 31st, and I am not Ryan Fox, here with my fire team, Jared.
Oh yeah, there's been a good week and hit 1560 across the board on all 3 characters. So got that checked off on the seasons. That's a, take away a lot of the grind going in every week.
And the Chronicler himself, Chato Cero.
I was gonna repeat Jared word for word, but I forgot it all. What I will say is, yeah, hitting 1560 across the board relieves a lot of the grind and makes it so I just do what I want to do now. Besides having to grind out the Gambit title, which we'll talk about eventually.
And remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can take us on the road via Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast services. Make sure you subscribe and unsubscribe, and then resubscribe and unsubscribe and resubscribe again. Click the bell, turn on notifications, yada, yada, yada. Follow us on Twitter at DestinyCCPod. Send us a bunch of friend requests. The TWAB was, I don't know, meh this week, in my opinion. But you'll hear more about that later from Jared. But for now, let's listen to the intro music from our boy Link, who you can find on Twitter at LinkOfTimeG.
All right, everyone. Unlike Fox, I think DMG actually brought the bread this week and actually gave us some stuff to talk about and to get excited for in the next coming week or so of Destiny. So the first thing that happened in Destiny this week is Bungie released a little trailer about people giving their reviews of Witch Queen and stuff like that. A lot of 9 out of 10s, 4.5 out of 5s, and a lot of positive reviews that went on in that. But they're saying the work is not done. They're putting the finishing touches on Season of the Redacted, which is a couple months out, and this going through some test phase passes of that. And also, when it comes to them looking forward, everybody remembers last year for Halloween, we got the vote on dinosaurs versus monsters for the Halloween ornaments. We'll do that again this time. And this time it's Team Mech versus Team Monsters. So they improved the monsters a little bit from what they were last year. Gave them a few more details, it looks like, as a concept art piece. And then Team Mechs, to me, this looks like a lot of like Transformers mixed with like Power Ranger mechs whenever you're growing up as a kid and they like go in together.
They're called Zords, Jared. They're called Zords.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna go. I'm getting heavy Gundam vibes. So we're all in 3 different places here.
Is that the thing on Ready Player One where like the kids like they morphed together that made that? Did you watch that movie?
I thought you were about to get canceled. Yeah, I watched that movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like a Power Rangers thing though, when they combine like that. But
it was different.
Morphin'
Yeah,
time.
no. Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to me, the mechs look awesome, and the monsters look okay. But as a hunter, I think no matter what, we're making out
Look
okay.
like trash.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I'm gonna let Ryan go first. Actually, go.
Yeah. So first of all, the Titan is probably the coolest of the mechs, with the Warlock coming in a pretty close second. Warlock is a distant third in the monster category, but Hunter is a strong first. I think it's because of the cloak in the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
That cloak looks pretty sick, and they even in the little graphic they kind of have the cloak out to the side, and it's just it looks dope. But the monster Warlock, I could do without that. I mean, I'm sure I'll still spend the silver on it. Let's not kid each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the mechs look way better.
I mean, I definitely like the Warlock. It is the weakest of the 3 for monsters, but if you're a Cthulhu fan, he's definitely a good one. If you like them lake monsters and river monsters and stuff, he's good. But yeah, dude, the mechs is, I think my favorite part is gonna be just getting them and trying to find a shader that makes them look as ridiculous as possible. And I'm gonna have a red ranger, I'm gonna have a green ranger, and I'm gonna have a pink ranger. But I just like that they have horns, man. The helmets have horns, they got ears. But that monster hunter cloak is dope. It's just the spine, like from the monster head. Oh, that almost won it for me. Just that's super cool.
I would say it almost touches on what Godzilla could be,
Yeah, it gave me Godzilla vibes. Yeah.
If like the spine would light up that blue that they kind of got on the hands and the feet down the center, then I would be voting monsters for that. But I mean, it's a concept. Maybe they would add that if it won, but we have to see. So the way
they'll concept something better for the Warlocks, because it is trash.
Man, those shoes are like jester shoes.
Yeah, what are those? Right.
All right. So the way this voting is going to work, from today until April 6th, you need to sign up for Bungie emails and go through on Bungie.net and go through your account settings and enable email and SMS and enter your preferred email address to receive the Bungie communications. Then from April 7th to the 13th, the polls open, and watch for your email for your chance to vote. And the polls close on April 13th. And then on April 19th, the Broken Barriers emblem is distributed to all players who voted. The emblem looks pretty cool. So, I know a lot of people care about every emblem that ever comes out. They want to have them all. So make sure you go out and you get that email and be able to vote before the 13th. All right, the next category we're going to talk about here is Unbroken. None of us are Unbroken. This is a grind that we never really cared about. You went and did it, Fox?
No, man, I was just waving bye to the Unbrokens.
Yeah, so the Glory playlist in Season 19 is going to get a rework, and along with that, they want a new title and seal to go along with that, as in a seasonal grind, because right now the Unbroken grind would take 3 seasons to reach 5,500 in the Glory playlist. And God help you if you're still doing that. So to go in line with like the way the Conqueror seal works, the way Dredgen works, it's like it's a season to get it done and to gild it, and they just want to go along with that. They can't go into the details of what to expect in Season 19, but they wanted to let us know ahead of time, if you want the Unbroken title and you don't have it yet, you need to get Legend this season and then the next 2 seasons after to attain it before it goes away.
Oh, man.
Now, I haven't seen many people get upset over this, and it kind of makes sense to me. If it's something new to chase in PvP, I don't know what they would. And I mean, a title is a title. They hand them out to everyone now, so they're really not really that great to go chase.
Do you remember how sweet it was to have a title back when they first launched?
Yeah.
Like, I had like Wayfarer, like day 1 of titles. And man, I was like the only dude rolling around with that thing. Except probably Chad.
Yeah. I do everything when it happens by accident.
That was before I knew the Dokuro.
I had to go for that Chronicler one right away. It's still equipped on my Warlock. Like, it's not moved.
Mm-hmm.
It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
It should be on my Titan, but, people are prejudiced against my crayon-munching book reader. But, I mean, every season I go, I want that Unbroken title. I should work on it. And then I play, like, 2 games in Glory, and I'm like, I'm not going to work on it. And then I stop, and I'm like, dang it. It's going to be, like, one of the titles that I will never get, and I'm mad. So if I don't do it this season, I'm never going to have it. And it's going to be one of 3 titles that I'll never have, and it makes me upset. As a collector, yes. But as a person that doesn't want to pull the rest of my hair out, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm good. I think I'm okay. I'll probably give it a shot one weekend and just see what happens, and then be like, yeah, this is what I expected.
Well, Chad, the thing is, if you go in there and you gun that out, what are you really getting out of it?
Just the title.
Pain.
It's literally just the title.
Yeah.
I have everything except for the 3 legends on that title. That's it.
Well, as we're going to talk about here in a little while, we're going to talk about some other PvP things to go do on the weekends. That is not the Glory playlist. But before we get to that, we're probably going to get to the best news of the week, and that is that Grandmasters are coming back on Tuesday, and it's what thing that we probably look most forward to start grinding during this season and waiting for it. And you could probably have your power level up to 1575 if you want to jump in there and start grinding for some weapons and adept mods. So if for some reason you haven't played Grandmasters before, the combatants, they take a little bit more hits, they deal more damage, and they're far more aggressive. There's more champions, and revives are limited, and darkness will approach, and you won't have any ability to revive your teammates after a certain time. This historically has been 45 minutes, and they haven't mentioned anything about this changing, but that is what to expect. And next week, the 2 Nightfall weapons is going to be Palindrome and Plugged 1. We'll give you a sort of a breakdown on those weapons when it comes to the weapons breakdown of the podcast, but there's some combinations that isn't there anymore on those weapons that you might be sitting in your vault, but you won't be able to get new ones with the new traits. Now,
but you have that origin perk.
Yeah. Also in the past, we haven't been able to gild the Conqueror seal until like there's only like 2 or 3 weeks left to go in the season. However, this time, if you have already got your Conqueror seal done and you would like to gild it, you can gild it in the first week. So what happens here is like whenever you go in, whatever the non-nightfall of the week is going to be a selectable on the node. But if you've gotten that Grandmaster Nightfall done, you cannot reselect it. And that goes for the fire team leader. So by chance, let's just say Friday rolls around, I got 2 of them done, and Fox and Chad hasn't gotten those 2 done yet. If I'm in with them, I can still run it with them if I have them done. But the party leader, again, has to be the one that doesn't have the Grandmaster done.
So you would just have to give us the fire team lead, is kind of how I understood that.
Yes. Next week also comes with double Vanguard rep, so you just get even that extra rep to hurry up and get that ornament done for that shotgun so you can check that off as seasonal challenge whenever that comes around.
Or just get the shotgun, right?
No, I think it was like the first or second week of the season. It was double Vanguard rep, and
Yep.
I speed ran Lake of Shadows, and then found a group of people that was just farming at Nightfall, and it was getting like 1,000 Vanguard rep for Nightfall completion. It was pretty ridiculous, and just
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Yep.
At that point.
All right, Fox. This next section here, if one person gonna be excited, it has to be you. And if this doesn't get you excited, then Bungie is really screwed up. So
all right, so we got some Gambit Labs coming next week, and this is they're gonna have Invasion Swap and Double Reputation. I know Chad kind of alluded to getting that Dredgen still redone this season. So next Tuesday, Gambit Labs will make its first appearance in Destiny 2. Now that they've finally gotten all the bugs fixed, for example, Ariana's Vow, and some minor tuning in place through the last few hotfixes, it's time to hit the labs. Both Gambit matchmaking nodes will be updated to feature Gambit Labs Invasion Swap. This iteration of Gambit will change up who gets invasions during the moats phase of the activity. When a given team reaches 25 and 75, the opposing team will be given 1 invasion. But that's not all. We will also have Trials Freelance, and that weekend of Trials will have Zone Capture and Double Trials Reputation. So realistically, if you're somebody that is kind of a jack of all trades Destiny player, you're going to be playing Gambit Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then probably Trials Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So a lot going on next week.
You gotta make time for Grandmasters to get the new Adept Palindrome.
Yeah. I'm make time to get it done. I'm not too concerned about the palindrome though. I have like 3 good rolls of that, so I wouldn't mind to have that fusion rifle better though. I'm sure Chad will let us know what to look for on it here shortly. So but let's jump back to Gambit, the Gambit Labs. We're finally getting the Gambit Labs. They kind of teased this in one of the TWABs leading up to the Witch Queen. I want to say about 4 weeks before that came in, the Invasion Swap. So if I'm on Team Red and Chad's on Team Blue, once I reach 25 on the red team, Chad's team would get the invasion. So instead of earning your own invasions, you're kind of, the better you do, the faster the other team can invade you. So it's interesting. I can kind of think of some, if you're going to stack some strategies of not going over the threshold to allow an invasion if you're holding a bunch of moats. So you can kind of stack your moats and deposit, like 60 at a time or something. In theory, you could do that. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, because there's people with brains bigger than mine, but that was kind of the first thing I thought of.
To me, they're putting too much stuff going on in 1 week. So, like the past couple weeks, we've had a raid challenge that come out, and other than that, it's like not much really going on. Why haven't one of these other weeks been the Gambit Lab? Because this is like too much going on. Because right now, like my priority list, Grandmasters 1, maybe trials on the weekend, and that's probably it. Besides running a raid once or twice next week, so you're kind of stretching people's time pretty thin here, with too much stuff going on and stuff that's temporary between freelance and Gambit Labs. Chad, I mean, are you feeling overwhelmed about next week? And you're like, Grandmasters and raids, the only thing I care about. The rest of it can go kick rods.
I mean, the only thing that's saving me here is the fact that Mr. Not Ryan Fox will be on a vacation and won't be back till pod day. So I'll have a solid 2 days where I won't really have to worry about the Grandmasters. So I'll be like, all right, cool. I'll play some Gambit, get some Gambit done. And then once he comes back, it's gonna be Grandmasters full throttle until we get that gilding done. And then it's going to be like, do I want to play trials? Because I want to get my Gambit done and out of the way. But it's like, but trials, depending on the weapon, it's so much stuff, man. Like you said, it should have all been split up throughout the, like last week they could have had the trials lab.
Yep.
Or the Gambit lab. Like last week was the Gambit double XP, right?
That would have been perfect, yeah.
It would have been perfect. Yeah.
So-
And they fixed the Ariana's thing the week before that. So it's not like they were waiting on that one. They could have stretched out a little bit, had more of a solid heat map of players are consistently staying throughout the season versus like having 1 week where everything's happening and there's a huge influx of players, then they're gone again.
Yep, I'm right there with you, man. Initially, I thought they were doing it because of some of the bugs that were going on, but really, like you guys pointed out, those were kind of fixed before last week. So you take, if you take that 1 week of Iron Banner out, there has been like nothing new since that raid dropped.
Mm-hmm. That's what's supposed to happen. You should be focused on.
Iron Banner is not new either, though.
No.
You know, that was just 2 new weapons.
Yeah.
I've been a little disappointed. Been a little disappointed this season. We'll touch base on that in the mailbag.
Have you tried the legendary Psyos missions?
No.
They're quite tough with that enemy density and then the modifiers. So
that might be something I enjoy. Then
I'm not sure it's fun, but it's something to do.
Yeah, man. That's been the thing. Like, there hasn't been any. Like, there's nothing PvE wise. Like, once we get those raids done, I'm like, I don't want to run preservation and run the first part of that raid 3 times.
Yep.
I'd
6
rather
times if you're running raids.
Yeah, there's things I'd rather do that I can't say on this podcast, but I can't do. I don't look forward to that. The I do kind of like the Wellspring, like the heroic version of that.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit of a pain because you go to LFG that and you have all these ADHD 14-year-old riddled up kids, copying and pasting the join codes before I can get in there. So I don't know.
Oh, man.
I think like as the season gets progressed further, I think they need to have matchmaking on that stuff. I understand not having it initially, but if they're going to do matchmaking, just have you matchmake people within like +2 or +3 of what your level is plus your artifact, and that's going to keep. If you're trying to matchmake in and you're 50 levels under light, it's going to match you with the other dummies that are 50 levels under light trying to matchmake as well.
I mean, they already have a way to filter out people that don't have champion mods, because like they won't let you start certain content unless somebody has an unstoppable mod on. So
Yeah, I
it's
see
like they could
that
easily,
that
like, if you're
warning in the bottom.
matchmaking, it's like, okay, we're not letting you in here until you equip one of the 2 mods that are needed. Otherwise, you're just not gonna you can't start it. And it's like that's all you need is everybody needs to have a champion mod and a weapon that corresponds with it on. Now, you might get unlucky and get all overloads, but
I bet, and
I
a
mean,
6-man activity. That's pretty
it's
bad
very
luck.
unlikely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's I don't mess with LFG as much, nearly as much as these guys do. It's really only when I'm around them that they grab LFG people. So I haven't played a lot of Heroic Wellspring. But I will also say that the legendary psyops this week has the double drops. It's the Cosmodrome one. So you can at
Yeah.
least, do it once and get 2 hits on that chest.
Dude, like, even if you don't do the 2 hits on the chest, like, I feel like I got 6 or 7 legendary items dropped from one run of it. So it was pretty rewarding with that part. And, like, Bungie is a $4 billion company. Well, before 3.6, it got bought by Sony. How can you not queue as either anti-barrier or unstoppable for Wellspring, and it matches you up 3-3? It's like just that simple.
Especially with all like the GDC, the Game Developers Conference, and like there's slides leaked out of like all the data that they track. Like there's zero reason for it to not be that way. It's just pure stubbornness because they know they don't have to. Because people make the servers and the stuff for them to where they don't have to do it. Which I have to say, the D2 PC LFG Discord server or whatever that is called, Destiny 2 LFG. It is. I've used it for 2 years, 3 years. Whenever, like when I first got my PC, I've had one bad experience, like a singular, and otherwise, like I've pretty well easily completed anything I've LFG'd for on that. So granted, I am playing on PC. A lot of times people claim that LFG is a little better for PC than it is on the consoles because I have had much better luck with this Discord server than I ever did on like the Xbox LFG system.
Yeah. By the way join codes work now, like people on console, like I played with a person that was using that Destiny 2 LFG Discord, and they was on PlayStation. And
really,
yeah,
and it worked.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's good news.
they were capable of using Discord chat and not making you join whatever game chat or whatever.
I would bet that this person also had a PC, but was playing on PlayStation further. But they would post their join code, and you would join them instead of them having to try to type it in. Which it worked out.
Gotcha.
Worked out fine. All right, and you talked about freelance the next week, and also zone capture is happening this weekend in trials. So if you want to mix up your 3v3 experience, that'll be a fun way to go about it. All right,
you like the zone capture?
It's okay, but it's still trials to me. So it's just like I'm going in and I'm expecting pain. And I'm just trying to get my engrams to go get focus up. I'm done with the flawless stuff. I just can't put myself through it. Until we get a friend that's in like the top 1% of gaming on Destiny 2 PvP, I'm just not even trying that.
I'm right there with you. I haven't even tried to go flawless since like 6 weeks into last season or whatever.
All right, it's time for some weapons breakdown. We're going to talk about some Nightfall weapons here. First things up is the Duty Bound Kinetic Auto Rifle. That's the 600 RPM. So think of your Gnawing Hunger and your Summoners. It's that same way to fire. So PvE, I'm looking at Hammerforge Tactical Mag, Stats for All, and One for All. I've gotten a couple weapons with that combination now, Stats and One for All, and I enjoy it. I enjoyed it on a hand cannon that I got it. I got it on the Waveframe grenade launcher, and it kind of just makes sense for an auto rifle just to get that extra damage. And then the stability and range, like this is a match made. What you need. And then PvP, I want to say Airhead Break, Acrorized Rounds, Perpetual Motion, and Rampage. But this auto rifle, I don't think it's the one to be using in PvP. If you're using the auto rifle, I think there's a lot of better options out there for you. And I would say that the rapid fire frame auto rifles are a tad better in PvP right now than what these are. All right, the next is Silicon Aroma Kinetic Aggressive Frame Sniper. For PvE, of course, you want a lot of handling on Sniper because these aggressive frames are quite sluggish. So fluted barrel and then extended mag, so you can put on backup mag and get your magazine to 5. That's the only way to do it. Appended mag won't get you to 5. And then triple tap and fire in line. And then PvP, again, fluted, ricochet rounds, snapshot, and opening shot. Now, I got this roll on the regular version, and I still don't feel that great. Like, compared to the ISO I have with snapshot and opening shot. I don't know what it is, the difference between them, aim assist values or something. It didn't feel good to me. But you do get a little more body shot damage just in case somebody get hit by something else. You're more likely to get that kill. All right, so let's talk about Palindrome. So Palindrome changed a little bit, and I don't know how to really feel about this because really one of my favorite combinations is no longer available, and that is Subsistence and Rampage on it. You can't do it anymore. And they took those away, and they added Compulsive Reloader and Stats for All in that first column, and then they also added Turnabout in the last column. To me, they took away like probably a top 2 or 3 perk in each column and gave it perks that are in the bottom half of what people would want out of that weapon. So to me now, for PvE, I'm going for Hammer Forged, Armor Piercing, Overflow, or Stats for All with 1 for All. I think that's the role to go for now in PvE. And PvP is still the same with Hammer Forged, High Cal, Quick Draw, and Range Finder. But the big thing is having the trait perks. And even though this is a PvE weapon, a lot of people still want it for PvP because Vanguard Vindication Final Blows with this weapon grant a small amount of health. It's only 7 HP, but every little bit of HP bonus in PvP can save your life. So how you all feel about this changes to Palindrome?
Well, I never got Subsistence Rampage.
Yeah.
I wish I did. But I mean, it not having Subsistence anymore is very sad because Subsistence is a lot of fun. I mean, it still has Overflow, which is great, but like you have to run over a brick for it.
Mm-hmm.
So like in Nightfalls, that's not always a valid option. Like
Shoot to loot.
the bricks. Yeah, you'd have to shoot to loot, but the bricks are always in the group over there where the rest of them are. So it's like you have to wait. So you're running on a regular mag, not the Overflow. You can go into encounters with the Overflow procced, but I mean, it's much better in regular PvE than in Grandmasters, which is fine. I mean, I hope I get the Overflow Stats for All or 1 for All. Stats for All, 1 for All one would be a lot of fun for sure.
Yep.
I mean, I just hope I get one that I can enjoy.
Counterpoint to your anti-overflow argument. In a GM, you're not going to kill the whatever you're shooting at with 1 clip anyway to proc Subsistence. So, yeah, no. So I have a Overflow, Rampage, and a Quick Draw Rangefinder roll on this. So I'm pretty well set. Like I said, I'm really hoping for the plug one because mine are trash that I have of it.
Yeah, plug one also got some changes. I'll look it back up here. To me, the biggest, actually, I think I had like a great change to it, and what I found to be the most, wowed me was compulsive reloader with reservoir burst.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
This gun is already has the 75 recoil direction and it's a precision frame, so it's going to go straight up and down. It's going to be very easy to control and hit your shots. So, I mean, is that now the best PvE fusion rifle if you get that roll on it, Chad?
I mean, I already run Null Composure as if it does have compulsive reloader. I as immediately upon firing my reservoir shot, I reload it. Like it just kind of does it because you get that extra damage and the explosions. It doesn't make sense not to in PvE because you're already like, just do it. So having compulsive reloader also, it's like I'm already doing this. Let me benefit from it. That's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I haven't gotten a plug one with reservoir burst yet because now I have something to hunt for. Really, like actually really hunt for.
Yep.
So I'm definitely excited for that. That's gonna be a lot of fun to mess around with for sure.
Yeah. See, I have what is it? The Snorri FR5 fusion rifle. I have it with compulsive reloader, reservoir burst, and then like accelerated coils and arrowhead. I think with a range, and that thing is filthy.
Yeah.
So if you get that on like an adept weapon and throw like a big ones on it or something, you could really rain some pain down.
There's another perk synergy combo out there, and that's adaptive munitions with turnabout. So turnabout, just you break any shield, and then you get a Nova shield, and then of course adaptive munitions should bump up the damage. What I haven't seen this adaptive munitions used with the fusion rifle yet, so potentially like each bolt could increase the damage. So like one firing of the fusion rifle might ramp it up to the max damage it can do on a shield. So just a nice little thing to keep a lookout for that you might solo lost sectors might play into there. Just some of those things when you're running solo that you got to deal with one solo shield when everything else is arc. All right, and that is it for weapons breakdown. There's a lot of guns to watch out for next week between Palindrome and Plug One dropping on the same week. It's the only set of Nightfall weapons that do that. All other weeks is just a solo Nightfall weapon that will be dropping, and we'll keep you up to date on that with the podcast moving forward. All right, Chad. We're going back to the throne world, entering the pyramid. What's going on?
Yeah, baby. We just finished talking about Rolk becoming basically a genocider, absolutely demolishing every single person of his kind except for himself. Not for lack of trying. I think he wanted to die. He wanted to kill everybody, including himself, and just end it. But the witness taught him something different. So that was that lore book. But there's three full sets of armor and some weapons and the exotic that have lore on them. First one I'm going to talk about today is the Titan set. And the Titan set actually goes into talking about the worms. So it starts off here. It says, I am Zeta, the nurturing worm. Behold Yul and Er and Zol and Ur and Akka, the virtuous worms. Look upon us and know that we are good. You, however, are not. You are inconsequential, and this is not your my what? My place, privilege, destiny? You disrespect. There are no pleasantries in the deep, only the decaying husks of oversized parasites towering before me. You take me for a fool, believing I am like all these, manipulated by your psychic machinations. But I will not be controlled, for I am wrath. He allowed us no audience. He knew of our hunger, abandoned, imprisoned. Our vulnerabilities stood clear, and he wasted no time in cracking them open with the rib he tore from the cruel Leviathan. You desire life. My witness desires your power. A trade is in the stars, your servitude for their lives. He said, lifting the rib and pointing it at my children. Their power requires sustenance. Without it, your witness will have none. The surface of this disgusting rock is lined with their sustenance. Primitive beasts now stand at the verge of new purpose, giving life to your kind once again. I, kind Rolk, will ensure your children survive, and you will aid a righteous cause in return. Outmatched, death would one day be our recompense, but our part was still left to play. Go on, then, he snarked, holding the rib out. Sustenance has arrived. I grasped it, and he swam upwards, dragging me in tow, rising up from the deep, taking me from my children up and up, away from one prison and toward another. Stench follows. You drag it before you. It will not consume you, for you have conquered it. In this life, there are beings that bring light to others, and there are beings that bring dark. He brought dark, only dark, and was not more than unbreakable, unstoppable force. The cruel Leviathan learned this truth the hard way. He pulled from its chest a rib many times larger than the subjugator himself, yet he wielded it as nothing. The Leviathan, winded, broken, cast its gaze on the deep below. You would not look upon the one who bested you, beast? Lift your eyes and meet mine. The subjugator placed the rib beneath the beast's skull and raised it level. What lies beyond belongs not to you, nor to your false god hiding among the many moons. It belongs to that which witnesses all. You would do best not to forget it, regardless of your misplaced loyalties. The rib dropped into our dwelling, our deep, with force. It landed before us, uplifting the sediment of the fundament floor into a dense cloud from which he emerged. You who stand on the naked hull of an ancient ship, you who stand exposed, should be annihilated by the crushing pressure and ferocious heat of the deeper fundament. But you survive of your own will. You are not known to us. He has to be our fate. Madness. Whether he knew it or not, the subjugator shared this characteristic with his very target, the Osmium King. Larva in hand, the king was surrounded by whispers. Whispers of the end of all things designed to incite madness. And then the movement of the silver moon in the sky made his madness fester. He raved, ranted, until others were so sick of listening that they tore from his life. His daughters, fearing theirs, fled. From on high they watched, the witness and its disciple plotting their next move. It toys with us, my witness, as it always has. Our enemy is Fundament's sky. Its movements are a message, one that they bellies our machinations. It delays our desires so that it may seek its own. These frail siblings will soon be claimed by the light unless we claim them first. Our whispers were fed to a weak mind, but we have watched these siblings, these children of the king. They are brave minds, clever minds, ambitious minds, yet unsullied by the weakness of aging that plagues their kind. Then what compels them to hear our whispers? Desperation. We will tell the most cunning sibling of a cataclysm, a prophecy of great loss. We will feed her fear, her pride. We will say, young Sathona, the end is coming. A great cataclysm, a god wave in the sky. But there is only death. But salvation lies in the deep. Lead your sisters down, your cunning will spare their short lives, and you will be reborn, the witch queen, Savathun. Quite the embellished lie, my witness. Lie, or perhaps a truth in the making. That will be of her choosing. She may even stand alongside you one day in service of the final shape. In that moment, jealousy, envy, or something more was all painted across the subjugator's expression. The subjugator did what he does best, conquer, capture. Many of his victims fell, but those who proved useful served. From the prison within Fundament to another in the dark expanse of his making I was taken, and that was only the beginning. He knew of our strengths, our powers, to grip the mind and guide, to fill it with vitality and power, to reduce it to rot and waste. The universe is wide, my child, his witness would chide, with wrath matching, if not exceeding yours in its vastness. Seek it before it seeks you, or it will be your end. He claimed to desire our powers for his witness, but I overheard eons of their discussions. His omniscient God always reduced him to that which he claimed, wrath. Though he wore such a designation proudly, he wanted more, wanted our power for himself, to continue to do what he does best, better than before, alongside his witness. This is why I was kept, the desire for domination of all things. The subjugator returned living pieces of me to fundament, segments he could call larvae. He set them adrift on the ocean, knowing full well where the current would take them, to the shores of the Osmium Kingdom. So that's where the worms end, where that's the whole Titan setup, and it talks about the lie that he told to Sathona in that cutscene at the end of the campaign, the one where Ikora figures that out, and so that's actually interesting that they kind of bring back the whole moment of what's going on, and then you realize it's not the worms that did the lie, but it was the witness that was the one feeding that lie to Sathona. And then just he fished Zeta out of Fundament with a rib. So that rib that's in that first encounter, that big rib, he had the giant worm that's in the raid bite onto that, and he just pulled it out of the middle of a gas giant. Like, that's wild. That thing's gigantic, and he just pulled it out of there no matter what kind of gravity it was going under. I don't know how we killed him, man. He's strong. Now it moves on to what
He's not that strong.
He's strong. He's strong.
He's a triple B. He's the easiest boss in the game, raid boss.
This is because that the worm didn't have somebody to call out symbols for. That's it.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. Now it moves on to what I like to call Rolk's failure, more of a lesson to Rolk that the witness kind of gave him roundabout. And it says, I see the void, and through this gaze, I learn to covet no goal. Void bereft, there is a chasm where my fulfillment should live. Today you again gifted me purpose, my witness, a rapturous day by the old pattern, my fingers knitting finality once more. But now this purpose is equivocal, serving not the glorious abyss, the race, the Aslid, in their degenerate clicking dialect, have never known the enemy's luminous caress, will never know that caress. They are unnecessary, destined to die in a paltry million years, still orbiting the same blue-white star that gave them succor. Irrelevant, and yet your presence shall raise no more concern than that of a speck of dust blown off course by the distant sun. And you shall bow this people to my service, just as I enlightened you, your value shall be their value. I was born in irrelevance, and yet you cast me back down that well. I keep your sacred commandments, even this, closer and dearer than my own pulse. In your name I bring crushing embrace by flame and glaive, my witness. Fleets by black to blot out the suns and moons. The enemy flees, and I burn all trace of its passing. This is my supplication. But I castigate myself. Nothing is immaterial that is in your sight. My prayers offend my witness, and so here and now I tear them out. I shall learn to forge by night, and whispers and silence shall be your choir. They are liquid fear, sealed within porcelain flesh, my witness. These Aslid, whose service you require, I arrived as you bid, without ceremony or fleets, and for 14 journeys around their star I have stalked them in the dark, testing them to find one who may serve as a warrior. I offer them every opportunity to unleash wrath upon me and prove their worth, and they cower, then bleed. Is it the death of my ego you crave as you dispatch me alone against these insects? But I comprehend the depth now as commandment. Yours is a lesson in insight, and sweet as their hemolymph may be, it is folly to spill it all myself. My violence inspires fear. Each new corpse come daylight substrates accusations. They need logic, a cause, an effect that fits within their understanding of the universe. Even when massacre comes from the black depths between stars, they must lay its accounting at the Tarsus of their most powerless. They divide, they appoint authorities. They see lines in the parched dust that exists only in their minds, and they value these so dearly, they will kill it to define them. Achingly nostalgic. My gift of enlightenment, I am free of Lubre, but I see its shape in these jostling masses, and this inspires me. You have bidden me sharpen their fatuous mind into a spear point as you did on Lubre, but without showing my face to cow them. So instead I shall press my shape into the dust of this world and cast a generation of Aslid in my image, and they shall be my glaive. I am become circumstance, my witness. The unseen whim of fate that shapes the lives of 1 score of infants in the same temper of luxury and hardship that honed my infallible prosperity, opportunity, and the elimination of obstacles. Where they would know softness, I introduce suffering for which there is no salve, snatching away those who may carry them a nurturing frailty. My salubrious hand imbues strength, but far more critically, I weans them on immaculateness. They are self-made, they tell themselves, and grow strong in their suffering. Could not all their kind be so capable? Is there, they conclude, any explanation for the failure that permeates their society beyond a sick sentiment for weakness? Their antennuals quiver at the debility in their kind. It stinks, disgusts them. The youngest of my brood, I named him Und, has taken his first life, stoked on emotion. His craft is sloppy, the hand of a child. But I have removed the shoddy traces of his outburst and banished those who would find fault in such a child. He shrinks now from the anonymous endowments I lay as laurels for his conquest. I have permitted too much softness for the offspring, and I am left to ponder. Did you so attentively hone me into your blade, my witness? Or did happenstance in my own tenacity ready a blade for you to draw? I find myself once more stalking the night, my witness, unknown as their final gasps. But my sojourns are no longer otiose errands. I am no more a predator among the Aslid than the weaver is a predator of flax. Death creates gaps into which my progeny rises and stokes the paranoia to tighten their fists. Each carapace, crushed winds and clockworks my hands assemble. They no longer need my direct administrations. My children have children. Some bequeath lessons. They favored spawn are those who learned my lessons well. They converge on my shape, and unprovoked prepare banquets of wisdom on their kin to gorge. They craft weapons, little more than hurled rocks, and standing in the long shadow of darkness cast. But they